Hello and welcome to Grand Prix Minneapolis. I'm Randy Bueller, joined by Jake Van Lunen. It is semifinal time. On the left of your screen is Sean McLaren, the reigning Pro Tour champion. First premier event he has played since Pro Tour Born of the Gods in Valencia. He picked right up where he left off. It's another top 8 for Sean McLaren. He's ranked 19th. He's going to pick up a decent chunk of points here. He'll keep moving up the standings, and he seems red hot. He's ready for another Pro Tour.
Yeah, I mean, he's already platinum. These points don't even matter to him.
You know what these points do? These points get him to the World Magic Cup as the Canada team captain.
Oh,
because he's in a fight. He's got to beat Alexander Hayne if he wants to be the captain of Team Canada.
Wow, Canada has such competition this year.
Oh, it's crazy. Jacob Wilson is actually a Canadian resident as of this year, despite being a Californian in his heart. So Jacob Wilson is right in the thick of that race as well.
John Stern even has been having a pretty reasonable year as well.
Not quite as good as those three guys.
Yes, but
but yeah, I believe Hayne went to Grand Prix Cincinnati and I think took the lead. But now McLaren, I believe, will move from second to first. Well, you know, however many points. He's got enough points here now to move into the pole position. But I mean, 2 Pro Tours left. There's a ton of points available for either of those guys. Anyway, yeah, doesn't need him for platinum, but going to Worlds is the thing. Like once you get platinum, the next goal is Worlds. And there's 2 versions of Worlds, right?
You're going to need to watch out for.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be killer.
Team Canada's always been decent, but yeah, right now, absolutely. Team face-to-face games has been spectacular. You know, a sort of Canadian-based team. Sean McLaren, more of a lone wolf, more of a Magic Online player, but certainly a Canadian putting up results as well. Speaking of Canada, Andrew Huska, his opponent this round, also from Alberta, Canada, specifically. Huska's running a Jund list, which he's had a lot of success beating Malirapod. That's how you got to the top 4 this weekend. If you could beat Pod, you can advance. The field at the top of the Swiss with a couple rounds to go was heavy, heavy, heavy with Pod decks. They've all been knocked out now, though, and we basically got the 4 guys who proved they could beat Pod duking it out to see which one of them gets to win the Grand Prix. Only 5 cards from Andrew Huska. Is he going to keep 5?
It's 1 lander.
Oh, geez. Down to 4. Let's peek in on the other semifinal.
Yeah, let's check this out.
Wow. All right, so that's Junyoung Park on the right-hand side of your screen playing Scape Shift. So he's got Search for Tomorrows. He's trying to get as many lands into play as he possibly can. And then he wants to resolve Scape Shift. His opponent is Gregory Orange playing Blue-White-Red Control. Actually holds the King of the Hill title right now. He hasn't been defeated since he won that feature match. This is a tricky matchup because I feel like the Blue-White-Red deck has a huge advantage here. Junyoung Park has to resolve a 4-mana sorcery through a control deck, and Junyoung Park doesn't really have the ability to apply pressure. It's not like he's got Tarmogoyfs or something to force Orange to react. I mean, he can usually get a mana advantage. I mean, Search for Tomorrow. He can sort of try to get ahead on mana. He can try to pick a fight on Orange's end step over, some card drawing, Electrolyze or something. But I mean, I feel like if Orange can just, as long as he keeps hitting his land drops, it's going to be awfully hard for Junyoung Park to resolve Scape Shift. Now, I say that, but that's exactly what Junyoung Park did in the quarters. He beat a blue-white control deck just to get here, so we'll keep an eye on this match, but now we're headed back to the primary table. 4 cards on the keep for Andrew Huska and his Jund deck. Sean McLaren was sitting at the top of the Swiss, so he got to choose to play first in this match. All right, here's the Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize significantly weaker when you are only starting with 4 cards, as all things.
I don't know. My 4-card hand, I want one of them to be the Thoughtseize. I mean, I want to be able to, if maybe my opponent has a hand where I can take 1 threat away, and then suddenly we're in top deck mode. So he sees Spell Snare, Bolt, Wall, Kiki-Jiki, and yeah, it takes the Spell Snare. Kiki-Jiki's very relevant here. There's 4 lands already. There was a white mana in there, right, for the Wall?
Yeah, but he just
He drew Mana Leak.
Drew Mana Leak,
So he is not interested in tapping 2 for Wall of Omens here. Which I wonder if Andrew can put him on that. Maybe not. Even if Sean hadn't drawn Mana Leak, I don't think he would crack fetch for Plains. Just take a turn. All right, well, here's Courser of Krufix, and yeah, that Mana Leak in a heartbeat. Andrew says, where was that? That wasn't in your hand. I just thought seizing cleared a path. Where did the mana leak come from? McLaren cracks his fetch land. He's going to go get something that makes white mana. Yeah, white and red makes sense.
You know, he's access to 2 blue and 3 red, so Kiki Jiki is castable now once he's able to find 2 more lands. Another fetch there in hand. And he'll have drawn 2 more cards by the time Andrew is able to untap those lands.
Yeah. Yeah, you just go land Wall of Omens here, right?
Yep.
Oh, geez. Restoration Angel off the top. Sean McLaren has the entire combo in hand. He's just going to need 2 turns to deploy it. Kiki Jiki plus Restoration Angel makes as many copies of Restoration Angel as you feel like attacking with. Tarmogoyf from Huska. I don't think Sean's going to have an issue with that. It's going to count. Courser of Krufix does good work from Tarmogoyf's perspective.
Oh, yes.
I don't think Andrew wanted it to be in the graveyard, but Tarmogoyf definitely did. The die is off screen, so I can't see what the number is, but it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
I believe it's actually 6.
Instant sorcery, creature, enchantment, land.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 5. It's 5. 6 with the Planeswalker.
Right.
Yeah. And now it's only a matter of time before Sean puts together this combo. And Andrew's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
be
the only
forced
interesting
to-
question in my mind is whether do you play Kiki Jiki first so that you can make a copy of Wall of Omens and sort of be up this value card, or do you just pass with untapped mana so that you can go Restoration Angel and then untap win on the spot with Kiki Jiki? I don't know if risking Kiki Jiki is worth it.
I like just end-stepping the Resto Angel. Because, I mean, you're still going to get value by blinking the Wall of Omens anyway.
True, true. Yeah, you're right. You get an extra card either way, so just having the threat of untapped mana to force Andrew to think about what might be happening seems better.
And he gets the Bolt and Resto Angel here. Oof.
Does the bolt do anything?
Kill the
I mean,
Ravine
He kills
before the
Raging
trigger.
Ravine if it
Yeah.
attacks. Sure.
But if the Raging Ravine attacks, then,
You just
then
win.
you're automatically
It does
winning.
not matter.
Yeah, it's
All right.
do
Andrew
not
Huska
matter.
needs what? If he can leave up Lightning Bolt for Kiki Jiki, then he's got a shot. He's going to chump. Okay, he blocks with the wall, flashes out the Angel. Fair enough. The wall gets Abrupt Decayed, but you know what? That wall wasn't really part of Sean's plan. Sean's plan involves a certain legendary goblin and Andrew scooping up his cards. Yep, that's the way Sean drew it up. Wow.
that is the plan.
At some level, Sean's probably disappointed he wasted such a good draw against a mulligan to 4, right? But
Those are the types
certainly
of
happy to
problems
be
you
up
start
again.
having
Those are, yeah,
when you win a
high-class
Pro
problems.
Tour and then end up in
Definitely
the top 4 of your next GP.
falls into the category of high-class problems. All right, what do we got here? This is still Scape Shift on the right from Jung Park, team MTGMint.com. Trying to figure out how he can resolve Scape Shift through the blue-white control player.
See, so I know that we spoke and my big thing in this matchup is I always felt that Scape Shift was pretty well positioned against the control decks because you have more land than them. And in another sense, you have inevitability as the game progresses because your lands just start dealing them damage as you're playing them.
Sort of, kind of, maybe eventually. Like
Yeah.
you need 5 mountains and a Valakut, and then your mountains start dealing 3.
I mean,
There's only 10 mountains in the deck.
it goes deep.
I don't feel like the blue. I think the blue-white red deck burns you out before that. But you actually like Valakut in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Scape Shift and control matchups. I feel that
Wow.
like you have a mana advantage.
You are able to get up mana. I will grant you that. I mean, that's how you win it is you have to be able to Scape Shift and defend it against however many counters the other guy has. So, I mean, you have to be up mana because you sort of start out down 4 when the fight happens.
No Miser's Threats?
And the fight's happening on your turn. All right. Park's thumbs up greets Snapcaster Mage.
It's real good with Resto, man.
Yeah. Keep it forever.
Yeah, it's yours now.
Is he targeting Path
Yeah, it looks like he's going to path his own guy here.
to get a land?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want Snapcaster Mage. I much prefer Rampant Growth.
Hey, search for tomorrow in both of their decks.
Yep.
Shows
Cracking
you
the
how
fetch.
versatile the Snapcaster Mage is.
What's the he's responding to cracking the fetch land? Yeah, cracking this fetch land means Cryptic Command is temporarily unavailable. But Jingling Park doesn't do anything with that window. I assume we're in Park's end step. I don't know. I mean, there's no reason for Orange to crack mana. So Gregory Orange, his friends are telling me he's the Citrus Assassin.
Yes,
That's his
what
nickname.
I've heard.
Right. I can't tell if his friends are trolling him or if it's like an actually embraced nickname. I've decided I don't care.
I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, Citrus
I like
Assassin. Absolutely. I'm in. And yeah, here is the path on Snapcaster, which is effectively a Rampant Growth, instant speed Rampant Growth. That part, Park is not as excited about. He's going to repeal the Snapcaster to fizzle the path? Wow, you're giving him his Snapcaster back. Crazy.
What?
And drawing a card off the repeal. Yeah, you're not allowed to path your Snapcaster. I mean, it's effectively Stone Rained him, right?
Yeah.
He played a Snapcaster in order to, I mean, sort of Stone Rain him. He gave him a Snapcaster, but he drew a card. Essentially, Snapcaster counted path. Pretty much, right? They both got to draw a card, which is kind of meh. Snapcaster is surprisingly meh in this matchup for Orange right now. I mean, if he stays low on mana, like, I mean, Snapcaster's a really expensive counterspell. Here we go again. There's no path in the yard this time. It's like, all right, new plan. Lightning Bolt. All right, now Gregory Orange has an attacker. This is why I feel like you're not going to have time to Valakut the guy. You're not going to be able to just play mountains one at a time until you have 10, 11 of them. Eventually, they have a Snapcaster, and they're attacking you for 2, and then they have a Lightning Bolt, and then they Snapcaster Lightning Bolt, and you take 3, and now they're hitting you for 4. Like, you don't have that much time.
All right. So, telling time. Found a Cryptic Command. Seems that Orange definitely has the lead here.
Well, if you count by
1, 2,
lands,
3.
Park is up 13-8.
Yep. But I think that there's a lot more counter magic on the other end of the table.
Let's see what? I see a Mana Leak. 2 Mana Leaks? I think the white-bordered cards are Mana Leaks, which is both depressing and helpful. Oh, Valakut number 2. Now your plan starts to seem a little more achievable.
A little more plausible.
Valakut number 2, and then he's going to Scape Shift? All right. Here we go. Scape Shift with 9 untapped. Yeah, up 14-8 on land, so he can pay 4 for the Scape Shift. Comes into play tap land and still have 9.
He has more mana than his opponent here.
Right. All right. Remand is the opener from Gregory Orange. Wouldn't be crazy to just say, okay, pick up your Scape Shift and start again next turn.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Well, that's the line.
Yep.
All right, to be continued.
Yes. We'll start again next time around.
I do feel like Park kind of needs to go for it more or less now. I mean, Gregory's got Sphinx's Revelations in his deck. Don't want to let him just draw into complete control. All right, untapped Mountain. There's not 5 mountains yet, right? So it didn't deal any damage. All right, here we go again. Here's Scape Shift. Now I have 11 mana.
Yeah, this is it. This is the turn.
May I have Escape Shift, please, sir? No. What is that? Is that Cryptic?
That is a cryptic command. That's the promotional cryptic command they sent people for every 20 events they played in.
Nice.
Magic Player Rewards program in 2008 or 9.
All right. Assume it was counter draw. Remand your Cryptic. Now, Gregory could say, okay, pick up the Cryptic and recast it. But then he's tapped out. Mana Leak's not relevant yet. Not even close to relevant yet, is it?
Nope.
Is he down to just 1 counter?
That
I mean,
seems
his
like-
hand has another Cryptic, but at that point you just say okay to the remand, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the second Cryptic... And the second Cryptic's better because Park doesn't get to draw off the remand. All right. 4 mana counter spells. He's tapped out.
Yep.
Those Mana Leaks don't get to do anything. I think a counter just wins it here, right?
Looks like it.
Junyung Park needs any counter to point at that second Cryptic command, and... Wow. Counter bounce a land, it looks like.
Yep.
I mean, they should just do it, right?
Yep.
Gregory
That
Orange is
should
going to
just
make him
do
go
it.
through the motions. Escape Shift is going to resolve. What are you going to sack? Yeah, Gregory Orange is just going to make him go through the motions, but he's tapped out. There's 2 Valakuts.
Yep. Gonna sacrifice all these other lands, and
Wow.
he got it.
He beat blue, white, red in the quarters. Maybe I'm just wrong about this matchup.
I mean, I played Scape Shift at a couple Grand Prix, and I did very well against control matchups.
All right.
Yeah, and there it is. So,
Gregory
On to
Orange
game
scoops him
2.
up. And we will head back to Sean McLaren and Andrew Huska. Couple of turns into game 2. McLaren won a brutally quick game 1 where he had an awesome draw and Huska mulligan down to 4. Other than that, though, it was Huska had it under control. Chandra Pyromaster is the play. Looks like so far Ooze has been bolted and Bob got a Mana Leak.
ooh, and the Chandra sticks.
Huh.
And it's before Sean has access to enough mana to be able to cast an end-step Restoration Angel or anything.
It's true.
That's going to be a problem. Chandra, will accrue a lot of card advantage for Andrew Huska here. He can just activate the 0 ability.
Yeah, the 0
a whole
ability,
bunch.
which lets him draw the extra cards. No, I mean, Sean could have... I mean, it wouldn't be that hard for him to kill Chandra if he has an Angel.
Yeah, he can Cryptic to bounce it, something like that.
5 loyalty, though, takes it nicely out of bolt range.
It's a powerful Planeswalker. I really do feel that it's the second best Planeswalker in the format right now.
No, I think you're not the only one who concluded that. I know Kibler replaced the Domri Radis out of his deck with Chandra. Here we see Chandra in the top 4. It's definitely a metagame right now where Chandra is quite good.
So Sean's hand, though, doesn't look too exciting in the way. It has a lot of interaction if Andrew's just trying to play creatures, but unfortunately, Andrew's on this Planeswalker plan, and he's just going to be able to grind out this game from the looks of it.
Yeah, looks like a man who wants to activate the 0 ability, see what's on top of his deck.
I think he's trying to decide whether or not that's the play or just pinging his opponent and try to cast this Batter Skull, but with Cryptic Command mana open on the other end, I think you're just always going for the Chandra ability.
Huh. Wow.
He
He hasn't even used Chandra yet, and he goes for Liliana.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Huh.
I guess he's just, friends.
No problem. Now I have 2 Planeswalkers. Let's both discard a card.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 2 Planeswalkers in play against the control deck, it feels pretty good.
Yes.
So
Sean is sitting on
maybe he's
Restoration
thinking
Angel.
of something.
All right, 0 ability.
Your
Draws up a land. That'll work. Sean's going to summon the Angel, of course. Angel usually manages to kill Liliana, but she's on 4. I guess you have to hit Liliana here, right? Otherwise, you just get edicted.
Yes.
You hit Liliana, she gets the plus again, then you kill her next turn, then you turn your attention to Chandra, in theory.
And by then, it's grinded out a lot of extra cards for your opponent. And the thing is, the Jund player can also, have a whole slew of different removal to deal with that Angel, especially now that has the Chandra to team up with cards like Lightning Bolt to finish it off.
Yep, Liliana ticks up. Andrew picks a land to discard. Looks like a swamp. Sean has a decision to make. He's got Leak, Sphinx's Revelation, and is that Path to Exile?
Yeah, so he's got a good hand.
Yes.
This +1 from Liliana is definitely very relevant for him.
Discards the Mana Leak. Now, what does Chandra 0 have? Oh, how about Dark Confidant?
It's a good one.
I needed more card advantage.
So let's see. I assume he's just going to cast that Confidant.
Yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't. It resolves.
Seems like far and away the best plan there.
Sphinx's Revelation for 2.
I can't
Couple
disagree
more
with that.
cards.
And when you have opponent ticking up in that regard, finds a Tectonic Edge and another Path to Exile there.
How much red mana does Sean have? Is Kiki Jiki lethal, or is he still short? The Mountain and a Steam Vents? He's...
Looks like a Sulfur Falls, which is
oh, that's
again,
the filter? Or no?
No,
oh,
it's
that's the coming to play on tapped one.
yeah, the check for basic lands one.
Okay, Bob gets a Path to Exile. So Kiki Jiki's not lethal because he's only got 2 red sources.
Correct.
I mean, that's essentially how Sean wins this game, right? He needs to draw red mana and Kiki Jiki before he just drowns under this wave of card advantage from Andrew Huska.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew it did lose a little bit on the Liliana. I mean, he ended up losing 3 cards. His opponent only lost 2 cards, and then still has the Resto Angel in play. So he's a little bit behind in that Liliana, but the Chandra does have him, back ahead then.
Right.
2 cards beyond that, and he's about to get another one now in addition to that. And then he also picked up an extra card, I guess, off the path. So, yeah, I mean, Andrew's definitely ahead here. And with that Chandra still in play, it's just...
Mm-hmm. And Andrew's got a Batterskull in his hand as well. Which I guess isn't all that relevant, other than it's a clock. I mean, that lifelink ability never outpaces the Kiki Jiki plan.
That's definitely true. So he's going to fire off.
Yeah, fire the Thoughtseize. What you got? Oh, I've got Path and Tech Edge.
Yeah, now all he's got is that Tech Edge. So Andrew's got his opponent down to nothing but that 3/4 flyer in play. Let's see if he can find a way to deal with that Angel at this point.
Time to see what Chandra's got for the turn, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely want to see what that Chandra is going to do.
He looks like he's counting up Batterskull mana, but nice. Let's see what Chandra says first.
You never know. I mean, Chandra could just offer you up a removal spell for that Angel. That would be pretty nice. Andrew earlier decided to go ahead and cast a spell before activating that Chandra and got pretty lucky revealing that land there.
Yep.
And got away with it, but...
Yeah, here's another land, and here's Batterskull.
Yeah. It served him well before.
The I Played a Magic Pro Tour Hall of Famer pin.
Yeah. He
He
got
picked
it
that up
from
this
Luis.
weekend. Luis? Sure.
Yeah, who he beat for playing for top 8.
Oh, that was who we played for top 8.
Yeah.
Nice. That's perfect.
So he's got to feel pretty good about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be proud to have that pin too.
They should make an I Beat a Pro Tour Hall of Famer for top 8 pin.
Yeah.
All right, Sean decides to activate
Far more
Celestial
coveted.
Colonnade so that it can join the attack with the Resto Angel, and he can kill Chandra now. It believes him more or less tapped out, but I mean, his opponent saw that he had nothing last turn, so it's not like untapped mana was going to threaten anything.
And Andrew also, Andrew's pretty close to out of cards. I mean, even
Yeah.
with that Chandra being activated every turn, I mean, he revealed
Yeah,
a
no,
lot
I mean,
of
he
lands.
has- right.
You know,
He's mildly flooded. I mean, it's Batterskull versus Resto Angel, which is a race that Batterskull wins. I mean, Batterskull versus Resto plus Colonnade is probably still a race that
Batterskull still wins. Yeah, because Batterskull's, it's an 8-point swing every turn as opposed to 7.
And there's Raging Ravines as well.
Yeah,
I
and
think
the
Tech
first
Edge
one will lead
probably
to Tech
kills
Edge,
the first
but
one.
yeah, so 15 to 20, and Batterskull, a pretty good card in these control matchups. It's funny, as a 4/4 lifelinker, essentially, it's a card that one would presume was very much an anti-aggro card, but it in Modern, in a format where there's no Stoneforge Mystic, it is much better in the control matchups.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ability to pick it up and recast it is quite strong. There's the third red source for Sean McLaren. So Kiki Jiki off the top wins him the game on the spot. Andrew Huskin needs to kill him as quickly as possible and try to deny him the draw phases to do that. So here's the second Raging Ravine.
Trios Guildmasters.
Not sure what he's thinking about here.
Especially after activating it. I mean,
Right.
you just have to send them in. Oh, I think they're questioning whether or not it's okay for him to use that pin as a germ token.
Sure.
I don't see a reason why not.
Absolutely.
That was BBD's. He drew it himself. Yeah.
I feel like you can use whatever you want.
Ravine, yep, picks up a counter. Sean's going to activate Colonnade, trade it for Ravine. That makes sense.
Yeah. Can't complain about that.
Can't race, so he's basically all in on the Kiki Jiki plan. Tarmogoyf joins the fight.
Yeah. And,
So Sean's got, what, 2 turns from this board?
yeah, and I mean,
That was
does
not
have
a
3 red
Kiki,
sources
right?
now? No, it was a Shadow of Doubt, though.
Okay.
So he can cantrip through it. Oftentimes, Restoration Angel offers you, an additional block when you're trying to save time, but unfortunately, it says non-angel, so he can't blink the Restoration Angel with the
Oh, he drew
Restoration
Tech
Angel.
Edge. Just not in time. That would have been a lot better last turn.
Yeah.
But it's a land. Angel on defense. Surely Tarmogoyf's big enough to beat up an Angel.
I think so. I mean, there's a Planeswalker in
Maybe
that
he's
graveyard.
hoping this will somehow intimidate Andrew into not blocking. I mean, I guess attacking with it doesn't do much.
Oh, and then he can,
double
double
block.
block.
Yeah, double block kills Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I don't see a Courser in the graveyard, so no enchantments yet.
There is a Planeswalker.
Yeah, no enchantments, no artifacts, so it is a 5/6, so it's going to trade with one of those angels.
Makes sense.
Batterskull still chipping away.
Yeah, McLaren falls to 7. He can survive 2 more hits. There are no colonnades left, right? Spell? You're not supposed to draw a spell? Says Sean McLaren. Oh, Fulminator Mage.
Ooh, and that's quite good because
That
can
hits
actually
the third red source?
can hit a third red source and cut
Wow.
off Sean McLaren from. So this is the turn. He's
Yes.
got to draw it. It's a cantrip.
See?
I think he
Wh-
has
which
to go
cantrip
for it.
was it? Yeah.
Relic of Progenitus?
Yeah, go for it without tapping any red mana.
Yeah, so. Here it is. Does he find Kiki on the top of his library? I mean, that's basically what he's looking for here.
Yeah. No.
And I think it was just a rest in peace, which is a little bit redundant with what just happened.
Yeah, none of this stops Fulminator Mage from depriving him of a third red source.
No, and then...
Which means the next draw can't help.
Yeah, then the turn after that, he'll end up having to chump block with the Angel, and
Right.
that's it. There's always the possibility that Andrew does not realize that he needs to kill that red source. It's
Sure.
not particularly likely, or this deep in a tournament, but definitely a possibility.
Attack for 6. Yeah, Angel and Courser will bounce. Correct play here is Fulminator Mage, kill Steam Vents.
Yep.
And that is the play.
I assume you're gonna. It's not.
And wise decision there from Huska, leaving Sean McLaren here with no outs at all.
No, none we can think of anyway.
I mean, he could Cryptic Command, tap your team into a red source, and then draw Kiki Jiki for his turn.
Sure.
That's a...
You're right, you're right. Wall of Omens, that does almost the same thing.
It's close.
I think it buys him a turn. He gets to block.
Yeah, the Liliana does come down, though.
I think he'll make Sean discard that card, since he only loses to 2-card combinations.
Maybe. I think just making him sacrifice a guy is better, because then he has to chump with the Angel, and then
Sure.
there's nothing you can do anyway. I think either way, you're in a pretty nice spot here, as Andrew.
Either Liliana ability should be good enough.
Yeah. Both Liliana abilities seem pretty nice here.
I'm with you. I think you make him sack a creature, which will then force a chump from the Angel, but that is not the way Andrew's lined it up. Oh, you can do it post-combat and then guaranteed get the Angel. I don't know why that's different. I guess you might learn something about what the card in his hand is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wall chump blocks the germ, of course. Angel bounces with Courser. And yep, Andrew kills the Angel. And Sean McLaren scoops him up.
While doing it post-combat, you miss 2 damage. Not that it really matters.
Right.
But
On to game 3. Can we get a look in on the other semifinal?
yeah, let's go check out this Scape Shift matchup.
So is this game 2? Can we confirm? I think it's game 2. It looks like they've been at it for a while. Crucible of Worlds came in again here. Gregory just wants to keep making land drops. So, I mean, having fetch lands just to replay is good enough. He's got a tech edge in play that he can... It's still game 2. So he can also keep replaying this tech edge.
Yeah, which seems very strong. That is going to tie up his mana, though. And
Right. It means he's not expanding the amount of mana he has in play, but he's also sort of keeping Park at bay. Oh, Relic of Progenitus. That'll turn off Crucible of Worlds combos. Looks like
Yeah.
that's joining a previous pile. So Relic's been doing some work for a while. Huh.
yeah, and there's
He doesn't
an
start
obstinate
Relic,
Bailoff,
does he?
then. No, he does not.
He brought in Relic against the blue-white-red control deck because...
Snapcaster Mage.
Snapcaster
and
Mage.
Crucible of Worlds.
And yeah, I mean, Crucible, I feel like... I guess
Crucible's a big part of this matchup, I'm sure. When he saw that in the sideboard, he was probably like, whoa,
Right.
Tectonic Edge Crucible of Worlds.
do you bring in Relic against just Snapcaster? Or is it
I don't know.
specifically for Crucible?
I think just specifically because they have Crucible, because you have your own Snapcasters.
18-14 orange. That makes sense. Life totals are not super relevant to this match unless orange goes on the lightning bolt plan. I like the Bailoff out of Park as well. I mean, he's got a threat, right? He's going to force orange to react. He doesn't want to get in a situation where orange is just never, ever, ever tapping his mana, never giving him a window for Scape Shift.
Yeah, Bailoff seems great here because I can't imagine a scenario in which, the Path Exiles remain
Right.
in the Orange Assassin or the Citrus Assassin
yeah.
deck. And with no Path Exile, Baloth's going to require multiple cards to kill, and it's multiple cards that are cards that Mr. Orange wants to be taking out of his deck.
Fair. What does Spellskite do?
Spellskite can redirect Valakut triggers to itself.
Oh, it can eat the Valakut triggers.
Yeah.
Nice. I guess you kind of want untapped mana in that scenario. Maybe you can pay 2 to avoid 3 a couple of times. It's probably good enough.
It can also, I guess, protect things like Crucible of Worlds.
From what? Ancient Grudge or
From
something?
things like Repeal or Ancient Grudge or... yeah, Repeal and Ancient Grudge are the things that it can protect it from here.
It's funny. I guess it sort of does beat Scapeshift. Like you just let the Scapeshift resolve rather than fighting a counter magic fight, because
Yeah.
you've got a bunch of blue mana. If you've got
Yeah.
blue mana, it just beats the Valakut triggers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, it's eating a Cryptic Command here. It's reasonably big. Ooh, but I see a very good card in Citrus Assassin's hand here.
What's that?
Counterflux.
Oh my.
Yes, and
Jinyoung Park does look like he's setting up to go for it.
he does.
Bounces the Spellskite, resolves the Search for Tomorrow,
Ooh, didn't get
up
a green
to
source
8
with that.
land. Pardon?
So, didn't get a green source, so he can't double Scape Shift here if he gets counterfluxed. But he might have something like a remand, in which case he could just remand his Scape Shift back to his hand and still have it for next turn.
Sure. Boy, he keeps
So-
getting up mana. He's up, what, 8 to 5?
Yeah. Against a Crucible.
Right. And he's got a 4/4. It's a pretty relevant
He's-
clock.
Doing some good work out here. Do we know what the life totals are here?
I think it's approximately 14-14.
Okay.
All right. He does go for Scape Shift with 4 mana to defend it. There's Counterflux. Can't defend it from that, and does not appear to have a remand in order to recycle it. So he queues up Search for Tomorrow and casts his Serum Visions.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to put both of those on the bottom of his library. It's a secure tribal there in a mountain.
Yeah, it's just all about finding another Scape Shift now, right?
It looks like he has another Scape Shift in hand.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I guess he might want that extra land, depending on whether or not he has
How many counters
enough
he has?
counter magic.
Yeah.
But in reality, I imagine he's just trying to stack his hand with counter magic at this point. But it looks like he did put a card on top, so I imagine that's probably the mountain. Nope.
Nope.
Goes to the bottom. He was probably saying what I was saying in his head in Korean.
Yes, probably not. Probably in Korean rather than
Yes.
English.
It's exciting, though. The rise of Korean players in Magic the Gathering.
I agree.
This is actually just happening, like, now.
I agree.
All right, so it looks like Sean McLaren and...
Yeah, I kind of want to see how this. I think this is about to resolve, right?
you think so?
All right, Scape Shift is back. I guess we can go to the other match. It's also a game 2, so.
Yeah.
Game 3. Sean McLaren trying to get to the Grand Prix final, trying to follow up his Pro Tour win with a Grand Prix win. A bit more of an exclusive club.
It's an extremely exclusive club. Is there anybody else who's done
What,
it?
back to back or?
Yeah,
I mean, Pro
who-
Tour win, Grand Prix win. I
Pro
don't
Tour
know.
win, Grand Prix win back-to-back?
I mean, in the dark, I would guess Kai's done it.
Probably. I like that.
I mean,
I guess guys done it. Probably.
I mean, you win 7 Grand Prix and 7 Pro Tours. They probably lined up at some point.
I don't doubt it.
No, it's an interesting stat, winning the back-to-back.
Thoughtsei's really good here. Let's see.
Rev, Wall of Omens, Remand, Manalik, Tech Edge, Plains.
Great opener there for Sean.
Pretty good. What do you take with your Thoughtseize if you're Andrew Huska?
I think I take Remand. Oh, no, I take Mana Leak.
Yeah.
Although I guess it depends on what's in my hand, too, right?
You can make a case for Sphinx's Revelation if you think the game's going to go really long, but I think Mana Leak.
Mana Leak's like the most likely pick here.
And that's the choice.
Looks like I saw a Terminate there in Huska's hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a pretty card.
Seems good in the
Haven't seen
matchup.
that in a while.
I mean, you get creature-based twin combos. You just want to be able to remove stuff. And a lot of players have been starting to add slaughter packs to their deck. Just very nice in a matchup like this one.
Yeah, you can tap out whenever you feel like it.
Exactly.
It's great.
I mean, the problem with the twins is you wind up paralyzed, where if you ever tap out, you're afraid they're just going to kill you out of the blue. You know, end step, summon a guy, untap, kill you. So you can never do stuff on your main phase. But if you're holding slaughter packs, it's a lot easier to tap out.
You can just freely go for stuff all the time. All right, so.
But yeah, Huska, I don't think has slaughter pack in his list, right?
No, I do not believe he does. Let's.
But does have Terminate.
Does have Terminate. Oh, no, he does have Slaughter Pact.
Yeah?
Yeah, he has 2 main.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I like that call a lot. Paul Reitzel had a similar
His deck
conclusion.
seems great.
Huskas?
Yeah, it's just like all of the stuff that seems so good against the current meta.
Wow, 3 Inquisition, 3 Thoughtseize main, 2 Angers main. It's a nice deck. Not that Anger's good against blue, white, red control.
No.
The other 2 are. Dark Confidant runs into a Remand.
But the Angers did get him this far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you had to be able to beat Pod to get here.
Ooh,
It's like the sign at the front of the amusement ride, right? You must be at least this tall to ride this ride. The this tall is beating the Malirapod deck.
beating Malirapod, having Anger of the Gods in your deck. So an Electrolyze off the top there for McLaren. So
it's pretty good.
Very good against the Confidant that.
And a second one.
Yep, it looks like it. An overwhelming amount of ways to deal with the Dark Confidant in his opponent's hand there. And Huska gonna fetch him another land here. If he has something like Courser Crewfix, that'd be quite good in this next turn.
Sure. Seems most likely to replay the Dark Confidant, but hear a bunch of applause. I'm guessing that means Jun-Young Park won game 2. Otherwise, they'd be going on to game 3. That normally doesn't get greeted with quite that much applause. Wow, Scape Shift. He's 4-0 against blue-white control decks.
Yeah, I mean, he makes a lot of mana.
He does seem to make a lot of mana. Yeah, he makes enough mana to get ahead and win those counterfights over the Scape Shift. Wow.
When you think about it, his matchup there must be good. Otherwise, wouldn't he just have Boseiju in his sideboard? Right?
Fine point. Do you... All right, Marshall sounds like he was watching that game from Jun-Young Park. What happened? How did it end?
It was really fantastic. So he was trying to set up a turn where he could cast Scape Shift and force his opponent to counter it, but he had
Is It Charm in his hand, so he could try
Okay.
to counter the counter.
Right.
So he had the Citrus Assassin on 4 mana, and he goes Scape Shift. He thinks about it for a while, says Shadow of Doubt. Okay, so Shadow Doubt's on the stack.
Sure.
Park has 5 mana up. He used two of it for Telling Time. He
Okay.
looks at the first 3 cards of Telling Time, and he sees Swan Song. Slams it into his hand, uses one of his mana to Swan Song. His opponent mana leaks, and he says, Is It Charm? And that was it.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
Telling Time is response to dig for Swan Song.
Yes. Park through to the finals.
Very nice. Thanks.
That's exciting.
Yes.
The deck's really good at fighting counter wars.
I guess so. I stand corrected. Fun to see. So Andrew Huskin, meanwhile, has played that Dark Confidant that got remanded previously and has, in addition, used his other 2 mana for Tarmogoyf. Here comes the Electrolyze we knew about to kill the Dark Confidant. Yep, and one to you. Question is whether Sean has anything to do about Tarmogoyf. So what do we have? Instant land creature. There's a thought. Did we have a Thoughtseize this game? Yeah, we did have a Thoughtseize this game. So sorcery.
Yeah, on turn 1.
4.
So pretty
Tech
big at
Edge
this
is
point.
the Raging Ravine.
And that's great. That cuts Andrew off from red mana here. Puts him on only 1 green. Ooh, but it looks like Andrew actually has a Verdant Catacombs there in hand, so.
And a Liliana. Brings it into play with 4 tokens, or 4 counters, 4 loyalty. Yeah, we're both going to discard a land. And I'm going to smash you with my Tarmogoyf.
It's always a little odd when you devote your previous turn to cutting your opponent off from red mana, and then they cast Liliana the next turn and discard a red land. Oh, okay. That is not my game plan anymore.
Right. Kiki Jiki just came off the top of Sean McLaren's library. I'm pretty sure there's land in his hand that makes red. So he could just play Kiki Jiki and start copying his wall for card advantage.
And I don't dislike that play either because it actually protects you from the sacrifice
Liliana,
ability
right?
on Liliana. You can just start sacrificing the
copies.
The copy.
Yeah, you wait to use the ability until Liliana uses her -2, which of course won't happen given you're threatening that, so you can make a copy end step.
Yep.
Or in combat. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
blocks
flavor
Tarmogoyf
confirmed.
too, right? You can effectively block Tarmogoyf forever and draw a bunch of cards. But he does it main phase.
Interesting.
And the wall gets slaughter pacted.
Not the Kiki Jiki. Well, I guess
Kiki
now his
Jiki's
opponent's
now going to
tapped
die to
out, so he's
Liliana.
got the
But
Liliana.
why do you do that main phase?
I would not. I don't know. He
guess-
hadn't hit his land yet for the turn, right? Or no, he did. He played the land to cast the Kiki Jiki.
Indeed.
Rick Wood, KJ Savinelli.
Is there like a sudden death or something in the Gen deck?
Sorry,
Huh.
Larry Clark, not Nick Hammond.
That's what I'm looking at. No, I don't know.
Sean did draw a card from the wall copy that he got, right?
No, it
Drew.
fizzles.
Oh, it fizzles, of course.
Yeah.
And Liliana can now kill Kiki Jiki.
This is looking pretty good for Andrew at this point.
Yeah, no, that was a great turn of events for Andrew. And there's that. It's exactly the card we were talking about, Slaughter Pact.
So if Andrew wins, we need to ask him how many games he's lost this weekend to his own slaughter packs.
He's always putting a die on top of his library. He's one of those guys, which I guess everybody does that now.
Now that you can.
All right, now what's Sean's line? He's
So
got
I
an
guess-
Electrolyze, which you can use to kill Liliana.
Yeah, I mean, I
that
think he
seems
has
kind of
to.
hard
He's-
to pass
he's-
up.
He's pretty choked if he doesn't. And
Does not have a lot of time to find an answer to Tarmogoyf. He's
Yeah,
got
he
a wall in his hand. He's got a Sphinx's Revelation, so I guess he's got some time. He can take one hit.
Yeah, he takes one hit, then he casts like a revelation for 3 or 4, right? And
You
then
play wall here.
so we can
Draws a
actually end up
lightning bolt.
casting a revelation for 5, maybe even because he gets the chump block with the wall here. So
I think he's going to cast Rev next turn.
he's got a lot of mana tapped here, though, and that Revelation is
Yeah, okay. He's going to go ahead and jump with the wall.
susceptible to quite a bit.
Here's Dark Confidant. That's not going to work. It's going to get lightning bolted.
Yep. Yeah, so that Revelation is probably getting cast next turn for 4.
Agreed. But it means Sean's going to take a Tarmogoyf hit. Andrew's game, he doesn't have much. What does he have in his hand? Have we seen much?
He has a Pyromaster.
Oh, he has Chandra. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the extra red mana he needs.
Got it.
But
So pinching him on red mana did matter.
yeah, it did actually end up mattering.
Is that Path? I think he drew Path.
Ooh, that would be quite good.
It's definitely a white card. Unless it's an Angel, I think it's a Path.
Yeah, it's a path.
No land? Yeah, no land, so he only gets to rev for 3. But, I mean, he'll leave up Remand. I guess if it is Path, he could consider pathing the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and I think that's probably
And
the line
remanding
here.
something rather than Sphinx's rev for 3. I guess I like that.
It does, however, look
does he have a mountain?
I assume he has 1, right?
I
Maybe
I don't know.
not.
I don't think you
yeah,
play a basic
because-
mountain in these
because
decks.
you
It's
play
like,
the basic mountain to dodge Blood Moon, so... Or you play the other basics to stop Blood Moon, and,
Right.
you know, all your non-basics are mountains.
yeah, the only reason to have a mountain would be so that you can get red from Path. But then he can't get it with your fetch lands, so... Oh, that's a good Thoughtseize.
That is quite a good thought.
Very good Thoughtseize. Is it going to get remanded? No, it's going to get responded to with a rev for what he can get, which is 2.
It's way better than when it's standard.
Which is pretty good.
I mean, it's better than letting him Thoughtseize to the Sphinx's rev. It's not a lot better, but he's up an island if he takes Electrolyze. Or he's up an Electrolyze if he takes Remand. He's basically up an island.
Yeah. And so it begins, the top deck war.
Colonnade.
Colonnade, pretty good though.
Speaking of Colonnade, Crunch. No, sir. Terminate. All right, I'll play a replacement. My turn. Top deck, land, but Raging Ravine. Both top deck man lands. Fetch land. Still sitting on Electrolyze. Yeah, get in there with Colonnade.
Yeah,
You win
you're
this
winning.
race.
3 turns to 3 turns. Now only 2. 2 more turns for Sean. And
He's trying to decide which land to play, right? He's got an island and a...
Is that a desolate lighthouse?
no, Arid Base.
Arid Mesa.
I don't think he's playing Desolate Lighthouse.
It was a spell. Fulminator Mage. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Interesting. So he chose to play Fulminator Mage instead of Chandra, even though he now has the second red source with that Raging Ravine untapping. But Sean McLaren doesn't like the sound of this Fulminator Mage. So he's going to crack his fetch land. Is he going to remand it, forcing Huska to tap 3 more mana and cycling another card?
Does he have a remand? I thought that he kept Electrolyze.
Oh, you're right. He has the Electrolyze. Sorry.
That's okay. So he's got...
Oh, did Huska just say go?
I think so. So
Yeah, I mean, Huska has
Now-
no reason to use it preemptively. He can kind of sort of wait for McLaren to activate Colonnade before he has to use the Fulminator
yeah,
Mage.
he can even attack with the Fulminator and the Raging Ravine,
Right.
which puts Sean in a bit of a precarious situation because then he's dead to 1 more hit from a Raging Ravine.
I think Sean just drew Kiki Cheeky. Nothing to combo with it, though.
And no Angels yet.
No Angels. All the walls are dead. Can't even make copies of the Colonnade thanks to the Fulminator. All right, so he's gonna pay 5. Does he play Kiki Jiki or does he force Huska to use his Fulminator? He plays Kiki Jiki. And attacks. Hilarious.
Yeah, looks like he's attacking.
He's basically offering Huska the ability to trade Fulminator for Kiki Jiki instead of trading it for Colonnade. And Huska is not buying it. He said, fine, I will go ahead and kill your Colonnade. Sean says, I'll take this opportunity to electrolyze you
And you go to 5.
and draw a card.
Oh, yeah, I just can't read my writing.
Sure, he was hoping to draw another Colonnade there. Lightning Bolt. Is that relevant to this race?
It kills
Yes,
Kiki
it is.
Jiki.
It's a turn.
Yeah.
It also kills Kiki Jiki. Interesting. Yeah, so you attack with Raging Ravine and then leave up Lightning Bolt until you figure out whether you have to bolt Kiki Jiki or can use it on Sean.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that
think
Lightning
that's the
Bolt's
play.
really good here.
Oh, well, you can't because you only have 2 red mana.
If you're going to activate Raging Ravine, then you're not going to have red mana. Wow.
Yeah. And he
That
also has
is
the
an interesting
Chandra,
decision.
So
He can tap
No
all
matter
his red
what
mana
line
for
he takes,
Chandra.
he
get-
doesn't
yeah,
have enough red.
He has 3 red things he wants to do, and he can only pick 1. Attack with Raging Ravine, cast Chandra, or Lightning Bolt Kiki Jiki. You can only get to pick 1.
It's a tight game.
Ah, wow. Which one do you do? Which one do you pick? You go first.
I'm going to go with Lightning Bolt your Kiki Jiki.
Yeah, me too. That was my play.
Okay.
It seems like the safest. Like, there's no Colonnade over there. There's no clock on Sean's side, so I think you play it safe. You don't need, I mean, yeah, I think you leave up Lightning Bolt. I agree.
I like that.
I wouldn't have minded killing Kiki Jiki main phase either. Plays around Cryptic Command, but
It's true. Yeah, I guess it plays around a lot of the counter magic that you would be. And now you have to bolt end step because like otherwise you're stifled for a whole other turn.
right. Yeah, if you're committed to this line, I don't know that you need to let him untap.
Yeah, I think it's because you're going to have to
he gets
bolt
away
on
with
his
it.
turn no matter what.
Right.
That's why leaving. That's why doing it main phase just seems much better.
All right, now he goes for Chandra, which actually it's a 3-turn clock either way. Ooh, Mana Leak. Wow, only had 2. Can't pay. But he taps the 2 for Bob. Jeez,
Yeah,
nice top decks.
Bob, a little bit dangerous, but nonetheless, I mean,
Still very good.
yeah, you want to cast Bob. I mean,
Yes. Takes 0, just the way you drew it up.
you know,
And
people
oh,
who think that Bob is a liability are wrong.
yeah, now he gets to activate Raging Ravine and attack with Dark Confidant. The Dark Confidant even speeds the clock up by a turn. Oh, by the way, the second card he drew, the one he only got because he Dark Confidanted the land off the top of his deck, was a Tarmogoyf.
Ooh, that's pretty good. It's like this Dark Confidant card's really good or something.
Wow.
Even when you're at a
Basically,
low
yeah.
life total.
Andrew Huska is going to win a top deck war. It's basically what this game turned into, right?
Yeah. Sean McLaren, defending Pro Tour champion, is going to be taken out by his
Not going to
countrymen.
add GP champion to his resume. At least not yet.
Well, hold on. I mean, it's possible for Sean to draw a burn spell and then for Andrew to just kill himself with the Confidant,
Wow.
right? So he's not out of the woods yet.
What's the most expensive card in his deck? Does he have any 5s or is it 4?
He doesn't have any 5s.
So there's probably more than one Chandra. Maybe. I don't know how many Chandras.
No, there's only one Sean.
Are there any 4s left in his deck then?
Yeah, he has 2 Thruns left in his deck.
Okay. Yeah,
So
those
he
are
has-
probably in here.
2 Thruns. He
But
has
he's at
Liliana
5.
left. Yeah, but
So
that's the thing is, Sean can
Sean
just
needs to draw a
spell.
burn spell
Yeah.
and then knock the top of Huska's deck.
Yep.
Hilarious.
He needs both players to top deck appropriately.
Mana
no,
Leak.
it's a mana leak.
That's not in time.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. So
He doesn't
it's the
know.
end of the run.
Yeah, now he's
trying to
pointing.
remember if he's got a
And
5.
Huska's shaking his finger.
I really hope it's not. You want me to do one last line?
A great run for Sean McLaren off the back of a
Yeah.
Pro Tour victory.
McLaren just puts his hand face up. He knows he's dead. Wow, Scavenging Ooze. Bolt would have done it. But no top deck for Sean McLaren, so Andrew Huska is through to the finals. He'll take his Jun deck into battle against the Scapeshift deck being piloted by Jun Young Park.